Hey guys, Waddle-D here. We're back from where Kirby Superstar Ultra, and we have all but 2 stars to complete. And apparently, this place has fucking Meta Knight written all over. At least it might be a future base for Meta Knight. Nevertheless, this place is full of enemies that want to cause you mayhem, stress, etc. And of course, hide you from the extra lives that you could be getting. So try to explore a little bit, and of course watch out for Gordos, because these hurt like hell, and they're pretty much all over the damn place. Now, nice thing about this place is I believe this is the level that has probably the most extra lives offered to a player, and you might want to take advantage of that, because if you don't, well, you'll be okay. I mean, this sub-game's not terribly hard, you just don't want to... Problem is that, well, it doesn't hurt to have more, especially when you get to the latter stages of this game. And here is an obvious little hint of what we could be getting next, and honestly, I'm really glad we're getting this guy. Yo-Yo will be very helpful for this next section coming up, and I would say I wish to see Yo-Yo in future games, but if Whip exists, Yo-Yo kind of becomes a little bit worthless, in my opinion, because it's kind of the same thing, but Yo-Yo honestly just has these really nice moves, and it's really, really good ability. It's solid, it kicks ass, and that pretty much, that switch there would give me access to all these nice little treats, so if you want to, go for it. No problems here. Now, here's the nice thing about Yo-Yo right here. Look at this. I'm just making this section a joke. So, if you have Yo-Yo, you should not have any problems there. Now we have this next section, which I believe is more mini-boss gauntlet action, but luckily you don't have to fight all of them. You just have to fight 2. 1 technically, but 2 if you want to find everything. Oh, nice. You led me there, little bastard. Fucking mind reading. Oh, too bad for you. I really don't care for that. But I do care for this, because fricking Plasma will be used immediately in this next room because of how good it is. And trust me, you want to get every one of those lives, because, well, if you're playing this challenge and you're doing something crazy, you don't want to have no lives on your conscience as you die to the final boss. You should not have any problem with Bonkers. Did he just shrug off my shit? Dude, take that. Alright, so we now have this boss room. This is also a pretty short level, as you notice, but the next level will not be as short. Uh-oh, that music. You! It's freaking Heavy Lobster Mark II, and this guy just has a different paint coat. I don't think there's anything far different of his HP and whatnot, but this guy will definitely take a number of hits if you're having to use star shots. And you definitely want to watch out for the usual attacks, as always. However, this boss is very much neutralized by the wonderful world of freaking guard spam. So just sit in front of him. Definitely sit in front of him while he's charging across the screen, because he's going to have no choice but to run into you. Wow, that was interesting. The explosion hurt him. Shit. Come on, turn around, buddy. So all I was just doing is just be patient if you're fighting him with no ability. Sit in front of him, as always, but get away from him while he's shooting out his little things, otherwise this fight's going to take a lot longer, which you do not need. Ah, shit. Did it again. I do like the fact that they have this theme. This makes the fight a little bit more interesting. I do have to wonder what the inspiration is behind the theme, though. Oh, shit. Good, lobster. Shit. Come on, give me that. Yes! Goodbye. Alright, so that was a long, tedious, and slightly boring fight. Honestly, that's the reason why I don't find Heavy Lobster all that amusing because it's really slow. No question. Alright, so now that we have one more planet left to do, Eternal Planet Half Moon. Oh yeah, this is my favorite theme in the game, or at least one of them. Now this place starts off pretty sweet, honestly. The fact that you're thrown into a gusty-bound skyland of sorts with ground, and you have options, actually. You can possibly get that warp star if you want, but since I'm challenging myself, I'm going to skip it and have to show you what happens if you do. Freaking shock blocks. These suck. Be careful. You could get pretty much shoved in all sorts of bad situations here, and honestly, you don't want to be a victim of ninjas, because that particular move right there, and this particular move, yeah, ninjas can be nasty if you let them. But once you get through this section, you get the revenge on all the enemies by running them over with carts, especially in the frickin' starbound sky, which is kind of nice. Screw you. Now, one thing you do want to do is you want to keep mind of this spot. Kirby, come on. And then you want to make sure to enter that door if you happen to suck up that block like I did, to get mirror. That hat's kind of funny. Nevertheless, we'll just keep moving on. Shouldn't be much hint to it. But mirror is definitely a pretty good ability. I would say it gets some use here, but not terribly useful in general. I mean, granted, mirror has its pros and cons, but I don't think its pros get explored enough here. It's kind of just half and half, honestly. But nevertheless, we're going to stick with it because we have to. However, you might want to start skipping that warp star and head down here the normal way and realize that you actually get rewarded for your efforts. You get a nice max tomato, and more importantly, you get an extra life, as you saw. And trust me, you want to make sure to get both of them, because this next thing coming up actually can be a little tricky if you're not aware of it. Like, the fact you have to fight these two guys at once can be nasty. Damn it. Just watch out for them. Oh god, damn it, Kawasaki, come on. Luckily, mirror does have some pretty nice damage to it if you happen to just tap the button, because it does this nice little short ass hit that seems to do a ton of damage. I don't know how it works, but I guess hitting him with a freaking wand is better than hitting him with magic. So that's kind of neat. More importantly, you have one last ability, and it will be the last ability I need. Down here. Remember that ninja part? Yep, here you go. Here's ninja. And that should be all the abilities that we need to collect, including the copy. Ninja, unfortunately, doesn't get a lot of good respect here, so unfortunately there's not much to show off. I mean, granted, I can still grab to the walls, so if I happen to be flying up and might be in a jam, I could cling to the wall to save myself from some unnecessary damage, but to be honest, you won't really need it. In fact, we're already at the boss. So, goodbye, ninja. Go to the water from which you came. Uh-oh. Okay, this might be a first. Copy. Yeah, this boss definitely promotes the copy ability. Unfortunately, copy is also a terribly weak-ass ability, as you're seeing. I mean, 40 damage is pretty pathetic. And by pretty, I mean horribly pathetic. I think Cutter has a better chance of doing more damage, and various other abilities that you would think would be very weak can do outgun freaking copy. It's terrible. So yeah, these two, besides the witch, you have now the evil knight. The evil knight has a few new attacks. As you can see, his star shots are very slow but numerous, so if you were happen to suck up one star shot, you would be eating the 5 other ones. And this is one of his other attacks where he rains down knives upon your head. All I would just say is to just run towards the corners and just stay there. He does have that attack, which, as you can see, will break your guard, or at least go through it. So that's the dangerous part about this guy. Then you have this motherfucker, the Great Dragon. This guy will take a lot of damage, as you can see, and he is easily the most dangerous of the enemies. This is probably his worst attack if you don't decide to fly in the corner, because chip damage for every one of those little air slashes. But luckily, Kirby should be able to do just fine. Here's another attack that's pretty worthless if you stay in the corner. This is pretty much a strategy, guys. Stay in the corner, get close, beat the shit out of the enemy, repeat. And yes, always guard. Oh, great. So you're just going to make this fight last longer. There's a nice example of how pathetic copy is. 8 damage. Fucking hell. And there's these 3-star shots of death, because that attack goes too damn fast for you to keep up, let alone suck up one of the stars without getting totally massacred by the other two. Man, you really like to petrify yourself. That's kind of disturbing, guy. I mean, are you Medusa, disguise? What the fuck? So as long as you're just sticking to the usual computer virus strategy, this boss should be pretty dead in some time, if you're not using an ability. If you're using Hammer, congratulations, you are fighting the easiest boss in the game, because Hammer will fucking annihilate this boss. Same with Suplex, and a few other abilities. And of course the game's like, yeah, look at all these stats you're getting, even love. So we're all done with this ride, and now we can move on to Comet Nova. Because I'm pretty sure we satisfied his wonderful conditions. Yep, there you are, buddy. Now give us what we want, the end of the game. And don't be an asshole about it. Oh, shit. Kirby? If that's the final boss, I think you're fucked. Wait, what? Who? Wait. Dude, how the fuck did you follow Kirby? You didn't have a warp star, did you? So yes, guys, the true villain shows himself. The naughty-like creature that was telling us to... Wow, what a diabolical little bastard. So Marx. I love Marx, because he is the most conniving villain Kirby has ever faced thus far. The fact that he manipulated Kirby and manipulated the situation where Kirby had no choice but to talk to Comet Nova makes this all the more interesting. Marx deserves a pat on the back. And he will make this last little bit epic, because Kirby's ready to kick some serious ass, and he's not going to leave anyone left standing after he's done with this. No one fucks with Popstar. Not even a big-ass comet known as Nova. Now, what's Nova going to exactly do? That's my question. But now we are on to the shooter section of this sub-game. And yes, Sakurai definitely loves the shooters. This is definitely one of the more interesting sections of the game. But it shouldn't be too difficult as long as you keep aware of where you're flying and what you're shooting at. Because if you hit stuff, expect some massive damage to some degree. The red guys definitely will cause a bit of problems, because they're the only enemies that will shoot projectiles, but luckily they're the most stationary enemies. However, the fast-moving missile-like objects will cause more problems for you as well. And of course you have the background, or in this case the foreground, that could hurt you too. Be careful, because there are no max tomatoes to help you out, no food to give you back to full health. So just fly through here as best as possible, because you're going to have to fight. And yes, you have to fight Nova. Well, which yes, you do is to dodge all the ones that seem very easy to get around, and try to blow up the ones that are not easy to get around. Like this guy up ahead. Yeah, you definitely want to blow him up for sure, because he's going to cause some problems. You can do some damage to these guys while you're doing that, but just make sure to cause a bit of mayhem. Now look what happens, guys. You just made this part a lot easier for yourself. And also, if you weren't aware, you have to go backwards, and Kirby is defenseless while he's going backwards. So if you did not happen to follow my advice, you will probably take damage at least once in this particular section. But if you did, congratulations. Boss dead, no damage run for you. Oh shit. Oh, Nova, that's what you get for screwing around with Popstar. Kirby's not going to have any of that. But what's going to happen next? Alright, guys. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to switch to a one ability, because this is the thing I was talking about. The exception. And my challenge here is I'm going to fight this guy without touching the ground, using only the wing feathers for most of the fight, and then finishing him off in a flashy style. This is Marx. He is fucking awesome. I love Marx. He's actually not that hard of a boss. However, he is a flashy as fuck boss, and he is very fun. I do love the fact that he will laugh at you throughout the entire battle, and he certainly has some very strong attacks. He actually has some of the most powerful attacks in this game. Ones that could take a quarter, a half of your health if you're not careful. So be very careful around Marx. But luckily Marx has one fatal flaw, a pattern. Marx's pattern is pretty much very predictable once you see all his attacks. You've already seen them all now. You know what to expect. Expect Marx to use these attacks in this order for the rest of the fight, or at least for the half of the fight. You'll see very shortly what I'm talking about. Now, Marx, I would say, is easily one of my favorite Kirby villains because of this battle, just referencing a nice freaking other battle that took place in space on a background that would move consistently. This is a nice reference to Nightmare, so that's the reason why Marx already is hitting on the right notes. However, this music is fucking awesome. Unfortunately, the Nova theme and this theme kind of got messed up to some degree, because I think the freaking DS sound card is not all that great, honestly, at least when it comes to replicating Nintendo or Super Nintendo music, because Super Nintendo had a really good sound chip. Here it's kind of like when you're trying to compare it to the original, it just doesn't sound the same. Now, one thing I would suggest doing if you're fighting Marx is just use an ability that keeps you on the ground mostly, or just stay on the ground. Because as you can see, Marx warps in midair, and that can cause problems with this challenge I'm doing, because Marx pretty much could warp on top of me and just hit me for free. There's nothing I can really do about it other than just try to keep myself ever present in movement. Once Marx starts moving a little crazy here, he uses this attack. Fucking black hole. If you get sucked into that, goodbye to at least a third or half of your health. You will fucking regret ever flying into that shit ever again. And he gets really nasty here. As you can see, the background's going a little crazy, or background slash foreground. But it's kind of a nice, that's an extra touch to this fight for the DS version, because this would not do that in the original. It was pretty much Marx would just go a little bit faster. His pattern does change a little bit. Like, for instance, he does this first, but then he does this attack, ouch, up next right here. It also gets a little bit more crafty, boy, because he just immediately shoots out the ice balls if they happen to be level with you. So just be careful around Marx at this point, because he gets really nasty. Fuck, I'm getting comboed. Yeah, you definitely have to be careful when you're at, like, low health with this guy, because this guy can fuck you up with almost no health. It's pretty much how Marx works. If Marx puts you in a corner, he will gladly kill you. And I'm just worried that he might actually kill me here. Just try to stick to the corners if you're happening to do this challenge, because Marx doesn't warp in the corners, obviously. Crap. And always stay away from Marx when he's doing that attack, obviously, because that's just gonna kill you. Really fuck you up. Crap. Stay far away from that. Now you also see that Marx is kind of not doing that little starlit flashy thing when before he's doing that attack. I find that a little interesting. I'm guessing Marx is starting to wear out, basically, which is kind of neat. Shit. Can't get hit by that, for sure. Aw, man, I thought that would be the end of him. Alright, Marx. No! You're not doing that! Yes! Well, I don't think Marx is coming back for a sequel. Do you guys? Nevertheless, Kirby is extremely thrilled that he just committed murder to two, well, not two innocent people, but one puppet and one puppet master. Good job, Kirby. You're gonna probably get like 1,000 more on your bounty now. So Kirby, with joy, decides to have the peaceful day nap. And basically, we now say goodbye to the original Kirby Superstar. But there is definitely more. And I'll just let you guys listen to this awesome theme because it's fucking great. Well, guys, it's been a wonderful game, but no, it is definitely not over. If you played the original Kirby Superstar, this is not the final sub-game. And if you're playing the Ultra version, this is definitely not the final sub-game. Because guess what, guys? This is not a port, obviously. I mean, we've already seen some ways to say it's not a port, but guess what? You have 3 other sub-games to play. Revenge of the King being the first of 3, Mecha Nightmare Ultra being the second, and Helper the Hero is the final extra sub-game. But I'm pretty sure there might be hiding a few more tricks up their sleeves. So next time we're going to go into the arena, and then we're going to check out what King Dedede is so pissed off about. I can imagine there's plenty of reasons why King Dedede is pissed off. Why I'm not the star of the show! But nevertheless, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and adios.